Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
Hey there guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well and welcome to our Andor episode 12 finale review/breakdown video. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna hop right on into it. Of course, it should go without saying, yes, there are spoilers ahead. In this video, we're going to be taking a read from IGN.com and their article regarding the different things that you might have missed throughout this episode here. Whilst also regarding my own thoughts and opinions as a review, kind of in this video here as well. I'm gonna have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. As a read, the closing chapter of Andor's first season is thrilling from its first moment to its last, never pulling any punches when delivering heavy hits of both action and emotional weight. It's the fulfillment of showrunner Tony Gilroy's vision as it achieves everything it's set out to from the series' opening moments and is masterfully orchestrated episode that balances satisfyingly typing up loose ends while leaving others taintlessly leading into the future of Season 2. Now, regarding Season 2 isn't really expected to be coming out until 2024, so we still have a while to go. However, of course, I'll be keeping you guys updated with Andor Season 2, as we do with all types of other Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel as well. Andor's season finale opens with a display of delicate engineering that the show itself has displayed throughout up until this point. It's symbolic of the fusing together of what makes Star Wars great, with a modern and more politically charged energy. It's the creation of a bomb that has not only been threatening to explode since the start of the episode, but whose ticking could be heard echoing from its very first, the sound of a reckoning that is ready to explode from the shadows, taking something from symbolism to actually seeing it, actually having it there. And I have to completely agree with the statement of what the article says. The shape of this chapter mirrors directly with the series' third episode, but the tables have been turned. Ferrix is now home to an increased Imperial presence, and Cassian is playing the Karn role, the newcomer in town unaware of the ambush that awaits in its streets. It's a classic Western setup with the hero strolling back into once familiar surroundings to take it back from the evil that presides there. That Romero has proved over the course of the series to be a worthy and ruthless avatar of that evil of the Empire, and now one who possesses the resources to act on it actually. She sets up against a counterpart capable of equally questionable means in the shape of Luthen. However, with Cassian caught in the sights of both of those aspects, it makes for a thrilling 45 minutes that packs in more high-stakes tension than most feature-length thrillers. It's once again a shining example of Gilroy's masterful control of the plot combined with the vision of director Benjamin Carroll to pull it off, and as layered as a thriller you could dream of watching since he steered his eyes away from the original Bourne trilogy. And taking a moment and taking a step back there, I think that the article really describes that quite greatly in that aspect there, of seeing that the entirety of the show of what we've been seeing here is that we're learning that the dirty sides of the Empire, of course, is something that we've always seen, but the dirty sides of the rebels is something that we've never really seen all that much before. And so that's kind of the point of the show, is to, for one thing, show us that, like, what kind of dirty things have to go on for the rebellion to succeed that we see later on in the original trilogy, and for another thing, humanizing your characters, in the sense that not everybody is a force welding lightsaber duelist type of person, and that normal everyday regular people like you and I are able and capable of taking down the Empire. Every word of the script holds weight, meaning characters have to be extra careful when uttering them around others, a lesson learned just before it's slightly too late for Mon Mothma to appears. As Andor proves itself to have more moles than the Departed, infernal affairs are taking place throughout the galaxy at this point, as displayed by the fact that 30 dead rebels in an attack garners nothing more than a brief couple of lines dedicated to it. This is truly a representation of the Empire that is darker than we've ever seen them before in Star Wars, with retribution the first and only course of action for any threat to their power. They simply don't care. I mean, they're laughing at it, they're simply congratulating it, and that is expected, but they kind of gloss over it simply. It happened, it was there, congratulations, let's move on type of thing. And that really plays into the point of the show with humanizing your characters. I mean, they're just like you and I, as I had mentioned. They're not force welding or have lightsabers or anything like that. Or even then comparing them to the Mandalorian or Boba Fett. They aren't necessarily highly trained or highly skilled in combat or anything like that. The article goes on to say that the conversation is frequently so engaging that not even a passing mention of the cursed Canto Bight threatens to derail it. The episode smartly utilizes flashbacks to aid in multiplying the emotions conveyed throughout the cast, whether they be the rousing passage of the manifesto spoken by Nemik, or Cassian touching the cold stone of what remains of his family, as it's the closest he'll ever be to feeling the warmth of their skin again. These ghosts from the past excel in accumulating the events of the present and the fuel that motivates Andor's and his future. The town-wide laying of one of those ghosts who rest of a spectacle to behold, Marva is remembered in a stunning display of unity as the beautiful music and colorful clothes of the mourners clash with the cold, black and white nature of the Empire and their swarm of troopers. Marva's projection gives us a farewell that both she and Fiona Shaw, the actress, deserve, as her wise and rousing words rumble throughout Ferrix. It's a standout moment in a series that has already given us so many, and it couldn't help but elicit an emotional response as her words and the strong as ever score washed over me. That beauty is swiftly disrupted with a sharp moment of violence, however, as you're suddenly reminded of the harsh world Marva has left behind. This episode does I'm speechless at this, honestly. If you guys saw my reaction video, I talked about all the different emotions that the show overall really makes you feel, but let alone the season finale makes you feel. I was teary-eyed, I was cheering, I was all of it. It was just amazing, and this is something I really haven't felt all that much maybe since The Mandalorian, or the Book of Boba Fett rather, actually, when Luke Skywalker appears with Grogu. I just thought it was amazing, and honestly I was crying at the fact of just how dang good they made those effects for Luke Skywalker. Anyway, this video isn't about Luke Skywalker or The Mandalorian or Boba Fett or anything like that. The emotions that this show, Andor, makes you feel is, I think, uncomparably to almost anything else that we have seen, although then again, all the other Star Wars shows have made you feel something emotionally, and this show does that just the same, if not maybe better. Pavlov's bomb eventually goes off and we're back into the thriller mode. It's fast, frantic, yet clinical in its execution. Everything's fast-paced, and it really replicates of what the characters are feeling in that moment into their responses, never once losing track of any of the vast cast of characters at play at the same time, although it is quick. The cinematography is crisp and clear even when navigating through heavy smoke, always keeping you dialed in on the action. The opening of fire on civilians is a stark and sad mirroring of many inciting events in our own history of revolutions in the real world, such as the Bloody Sunday Massacre of 1905, St. Petersburg's, and further damning reflection of humanity in Andor, a peaceful public event turned into an expression of violence by regimes who know no other language. And that is something that this show does heavily, is connecting to the real world, yet again humanizing your characters and kind of comparing your characters to you and I into the normal real world, but also reflecting real world, I guess, contributions and problems that we have in the real world, and just kind of spreading that message and reflecting it into the Star Wars universe and how those characters might react to it and feel about it. And everything that the article just said right there, I'm honestly speechless at how well they worded that. I couldn't agree anymore. For a show set in a galaxy far, far away, it is constantly at its very best when tackling very human emotions and flaws in our own nature, in our own real world. The funeral march may have laid Marva to rest, but it turns ushers into the rebirth for Cassian and the rebellion, in a show so rooted in showing us the murky gray areas of this world for much of its runtime. It ultimately relies on the good to shine through as everyday people, the beating heart of any rebellion, to help Cassian. His desire to rescue Bix only elevates his hero status, a role he once would have reluctantly accepted. It brings a fantastic first season to a close, as we've witnessed the creation of a rebel and the rebellion as it sparks on, from the way he holds himself, Cassian, more confidently around others, to the way he speaks more ferociously about the Empire than ever. He's more willing to be against it. He's carrying on Marva, his mother's, footsteps and what she wanted. It's not only what a reckoning sounds like, but what it looks like too, and it's absolutely glorious. Final verdict, as IGN's article goes on to conclude, an outstanding ending to the best live-action Star Wars we've seen in a very long time. Andor Season 1 finale is a beautifully crafted thriller that highlights the ugly side of both ours and Cassian's world, but crucially never forgets to let hope shine through. The script writing, performances, choreography, costume design, set design, music, etc., are all operating at the top of their game as Tony Gilroy treats us to a masterful final chapter to Act 1 of Andor's Rebel Journey. From there, that is where the article concludes, and as I had mentioned at the beginning of this video, I have this full article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out down there as well. And my own reaction and thoughts and opinions on this is I'm still taking it in, but yes, I think I've expressed it quite a bit in this video, in our reaction video there as well, into the regards of how I feel about this overall finale for Andor Season 1. There's one disagreement I do have, however, with this overall article, for one thing, is the way that they praise it for being the best live-action show. For Star Wars, you can't really compare live-action Star Wars shows, I feel like you can with Marvel. That's something I want to dive deeper on into a separate future video here on the channel into those regards, because it's something I have been talking about and thinking about at that there as well for quite some time here, so stay tuned for that video. Everything about this finale, though, however, brings everything into a complete closure, but leaves some threads open for Season 2, as we're going to be getting it in 2024, and as I had mentioned briefly in this video, that I'll be keeping you continuously updated with Andor Season 2, and also all types of other Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel as well. Of course, I want all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys all think here about Andor Season 1's finale, Episode 12, your initial reaction, your thoughts and opinions, and your review. I'd love to hear what you guys all think in the comment section down below. This has been Unofficial Star Wars. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one, guys. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.